Welcome into another episode of Depot's Den. It is the first one of the official NFL season. I am your host, Evan DePasquale, and let me just tell you, everybody, we finally made it. We made it. We made it. We made it. It is super exciting to think about now that there's football that actually matters, games that are going to count to your record, and it is, let me tell you, it's like between after the Super Bowl and the first week of the NFL season, it is a long time and it is exciting to be back. I'm super excited to be back. Literally the first week basically is going to be kicking off in a little over an hour. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going to make sure I turn on, NFL Red Zone on my computer, have a bunch of watch my fantasy leagues. I'm in 3 leagues. And let me tell you, I have never been in more than one. And it feels weird having to balance all these teams out. So I'm definitely looking forward to finally, I'm putting some money on my teams. I have three teams, and all of them. One of them is called Finding Depot, which is a little playoff of Finding Nemo, sort of that thing. My first team is in my league in at Odyssey. I have Justin Herbert as my starting quarterback, along with Derrick Henry as my starting running back, with Rashad White as my second running back, along with Stephon Diggs, DK Metcalf, George Kittle, Odell Beckham as my flex, with the Steelers defense and Jake Elliott as my kicker. I also have a couple more Bills players on my bench. I have Dalton Kincaid um as my second string tight end. I don't plan on playing him today just because I feel like I have a good feeling that George Kittle, he's going to do well, and he's shown that he's a veteran tight end. Maybe throughout the season, if I'm seeing what we're expecting from Dalton Kincaid, which is possibly, you know, 5 catches a game, it's going to be really exciting. And then I'm going to put him in my roster. Um, I have Damian Harris. The reason why I have Damian Harris in my lineup is because I have a feeling that with the Bills, he's going to be getting a lot of those touchdowns inside the red zone. So I feel like that's going to be the he's not going to get a lot of yards, but he's going to score you points. So I feel like that's like someone you might want to have on your bench as like a good backup, maybe a flex running back, but he's obviously not your starting running back. So it's super exciting to be able to have so many people watching. I see we got 7 people watching Depot's Den. Thank you all for tuning in. We're here. We're here to talk about the NFL season. So we're here to talk about the first game, Chiefs Lions. Love it, love it, love it when the Chiefs lose, especially when everybody, I'm seeing guys like Nick Wright, or I should call him Nick Wrong, because he literally called before the season started, he said 20-0, and they lose the first game of the season. I think that this showed that the the Lions are for real. I think that the Lions are going to be probably the team to beat in the NFC North. They just went toe to toe with the Super Bowl champions and won. And I think that that's really a interesting, I think that that's something that's really big to talk about, is that they went for a fake punt inside their own 20 in the first quarter. Like, who does that? That's just Dan Campbell does it. And obviously, it is definitely something that I'm excited about, because I think that that's something where a lot of we're going to see a lot of crazy plays from Dan Campbell. He's not going to be afraid. He literally, on a show, he asked, I think it might have been like Pat McAfee show or something like that, where he requested to get a lion on the sidelines, basically. So I have heard crazy things, but that might take the cake, is having a lion on the sidelines during games and during practices. So I'm really excited what's the expectations are going to be for this Detroit Lions team, and also love it that the Chiefs lost. I'm curious about this team, this Chiefs team. Are they really gonna how long are they gonna be able to handle getting through the season without Travis Kelce, who is your second best player or arguably third, uh, and Chris Jones, who is he really gonna sit out till week 8? I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen there with, Chris Jones. Is he going to want a new contract, or is he eventually gonna just play out? He said till week 8 is the latest he would come back if he didn't have a contract. Would he end up just leaving and just finishing out the year and saying, "Yeah, I'm not signing a new contract"? Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me if at all if he wanted to just, you know what? Screw it. I'm not playing for the Chiefs. I think that I am worth what I am, and I would not be surprised if he wants out. So I think that again, Chiefs will probably be fine. I don't expect them to just literally just tank and be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I would honestly be really mad if they were the worst team in the NFL. Say like they get the number 1 overall pick. You know who they're going to take now? Marvin Harrison Jr. with the number 1 overall pick, because that's who they need. Because they need a top tier wide receiver. Because Kadarius Toney didn't look good. I mean, he missed an entire training camp and preseason, so it might take him a couple times to get ready. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, again, I don't want to judge the Chiefs off of just one game, because I feel like that's really unfair to do. Is just based a whole team season off of the first game of the season, which I don't agree with. I think that it is really interesting to see how, you know, I think you're starting to see what the Chiefs are without Travis Kelce, especially their offense, because I think that their offense. I heard someone on WGR the other day say that Patrick Mahomes is an average quarterback and that Kelce makes him better. And I think that that's just the most ridiculous take I've ever heard in my entire life. And then eventually it got topped when someone said that Tom Brady is he is a system quarterback. I think that that's ridiculous. I have never heard anything like that. That is just in my view, I am definitely of the thought process of, why would you think that Tom Brady is a system quarterback when he literally left what was considered the system in Bill Belichick and then won a Super Bowl? It makes absolutely no sense. So, in my personal opinion, those takes are really, really bad. So I will say that the Chiefs are going to be fine. They're still probably going to win double digit games like they have. But I think what we're going to see now is basically how are they going to be able to adjust without their number 1 weapon outside of quarterback, obviously. Um, Now let's get into what we're all excited about. Bills, Jets, Monday Night Football. It stinks that we got to wait basically a whole day of football, and then a whole basically almost another day of football before the Bills play their first game. Here are my keys to the game. I wrote these down. Take advantage of that offensive line of the Jets. I think that if you are aggressive, which Sean McDermott has talked about being an aggressive style, even Ron Rivera, when someone asked Ron Rivera, I think it was Sal Capaccio, he said, "What is Sean McDermott's defensive play calling like?" And he said, "Aggressive. Be aggressive." And I am really intrigued about that. I think that, you know, they're not going to this is not going to be an easy game. This is not going to be your same old Jets that are just going to be have a quarterback that's just garbage. You got Aaron Rodgers now, but if you put pressure on Rodgers, I think that you could see him trying to scramble in his older age. I don't really think that Aaron Rodgers has the mobility like maybe he used to in years past when he was with Green Bay. I think that for me personally, if you attack him with Leonard Floyd and Greg Rousseau on the ends, I feel like those are the guys that are going to have a really big day for the Bills on Monday night, is especially Greg Rousseau, because I think that he's going to be the guy that takes a leap this season. And, you don't have Von Miller for the first 4 weeks. It's unfortunate, but I think that what the Bills are just doing is trying to protect Von from getting more hurt. So that's my one big key to the game. Micah Hyde being healthy, he was a full go at practice yesterday for the Bills, and I think that that's what's going to be really a huge factor. You did not have him for all of basically you did not have him for basically most of your season. You had him for the first game and then the second game, and then he was out for the rest of the season. And if the Bills had made the AFC Championship game, he would have played. But the Bills lost to Cincinnati. For me, I think that having him back is going to be huge, and I think that the big key for the Bills to stop is not their passing game, but their running game. I think that Breece Hall is going to be coming into this game, and you're also going to have Dalvin Cook. You're going to need to stop the run, and I know the whole this league is become a passing league. I get it, but I feel like Garrett Wilson will be locked up pretty well with. He's going to have Micah or Jordan on him along with Tre'Davious White. I have a feeling that Tre'Davious, I don't know if he's going to follow him. This is going to be a really interesting type of season for the Bills. I'm interested to see how the Bills are going to, move. Are they going to keep just Trey on one side, or is he going to follow players? Um, and that's also what I wonder with Sauce Gardner. Will Sauce Gardner end up sh- shadowing Stephon Diggs the entire game? Because if that's true, then there's my other key to the game. Gabriel Davis will need to have a good game, and he'll need to show you that he is your number 2 wide receiver. Not saying he needs to do what he did in Kansas City in 2021, get 200 yards receiving, but get me a touchdown. Get me close to 100 yards. Get me to like 93, 83, or even 100 yards receiving. I would love to see that out of Gabe Davis come Monday night if Stephon Diggs is end up, shadowed by Sauce Gardner and has trouble getting open. But I have a really good feeling that Stephon Diggs is going to be able to have himself a game on Monday night, and that does not concern me at all. I think that the Bills need to hit Diggs, hit him often, as in like they need to throw the ball to him. I think we need to shut up anybody who says that Stephon Diggs has a problem and wants out of Buffalo, because that is, in my opinion, just untrue. It is so. It's we talked about this. It's untrue whether Stephon Diggs wants out of Buffalo. He literally said, "Do you want to retire as a Bill?" And he said, "Of course, 100% at training camp." So, in my opinion, that's what needs to happen. And I want to see. I think the big matchup of the day is not Stephon Diggs and Sauce Gardner. It's not Tre'Davious White and um shoot. Oh, this is not good. But those are not the big matchups. Um, the biggest matchup of this game is going to be how will Osiris Torrance handle Quinn Williams, and I think that that's really what's going to be the most important factor when it comes to today's game, or tomorrow's game. Excuse me, tomorrow's game. That's what's going to be the most important thing to see. um, is how will the rookie in his first start be able to handle playing against their best defensive lineman who had a bunch of sacks? And I think that he'll be in good hands because he's got, not only does he have Mitch Morse, who is a great center, but also he has a great his left guard too, Connor McGovern. I have no problems with how Connor McGovern is going to be. He's going to be fine. And I am, oh, it was Garrett Wilson, Tre'Davious White was that I was talking about. I'm sorry about that. But, anyways, I think that O'Cyrus Torrence, he won the job over Ryan Bates. He was not really put in, it wasn't anything that Ryan did wrong. It was just everything that O'Cyrus Torrence did well. Did really well in the preseason, and I am totally convinced that he's going to be fine. He might give up a couple pressures, but I don't expect that O'Cyrus Torrence is going to give up a sack in this game. All right. Before I get to my picks of the week, there was a question that I had in my last video that I wanted to answer. So, Stephen Monaco, who I know dearly, he is one of the people that always help me get around with broadcasting, and he works with the Buffalo Broadcasters Association. And he asked me this question: who do you think is going to be the hardest team the Bills will go up against this season? And for me, there's a lot of them. There's obviously, you have the Jets twice. You have the Dolphins are expected to be pretty good this year, but it's none of those. And it's not even Kansas City. It is Cincinnati, which is going to be the hardest game I feel like the Bills are going to have to play this season. Luckily for the Bills, they're coming off sort of an extended bye week because they're playing on Thursday Night Football, so that'll give him not only the week but a few more days rest to maybe watch film, watch how the Bengals are the week prior. But for me, I feel like even though that this might be a better team than the one last year, I think that the Bengals are still the harder team. I feel more confident that the Bills will beat Kansas City, A, because they're going to be coming off a bye week, and Sean McDermott has proven that he always wins coming off the bye. He has won every game so far this season after the bye week, and he is also proven that he can beat Kansas City in Arrowhead. He hasn't done it in the playoffs yet, but in the regular season, you've seen the Bills. I don't want to say not last year they didn't dominate the Chiefs, but the year prior they did dominate the Chiefs in Arrowhead again. So I think that, to answer your question, I think that for me personally, I had to see it till I believe it, that the Bills can beat Cincinnati, and I just have not seen it yet. It's almost like with Tom Brady when, in the Patriots. I have not seen the Bills be able to put up a good fight against the Cincinnati Bengals. I have not seen it yet. So, as of right now, I would have to say that the toughest team the Bills are going to face this season, and there's obviously a lot of them. The toughest one has to be Cincinnati. I think that that's going to be the team that's going to be the hardest to play against. And to come out with, if you come out with a win against Cincinnati, I think that the sky's the limit, because that's going to be your toughest opponent. All right, now on to this is going to happen every Tuesday. I know I was supposed to do this on Tuesday, but I forgot. This is going to be my picks for the week, and we're going to start. This is going to be after every Tuesday. Once all the games are done, once I got an idea of how every team played, and we're going to go through each game. We're going to exclude the Thursday night game. I probably would have picked Kansas City in that game just because, but obviously I was wrong. So We're going to start off with the Monday night game against the Jets. The Bills are going to silence the hype of the Jets, like I just mentioned. I think that I'm not going to say this is all hype, but I do think that the Bills are being doubted, and I'm picking the Bills week 1 to win against the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. This one, week 1, all these games at 1:00, Panthers, Falcons. I'm picking the Falcons in this game. I just have a feeling that I don't know. I don't know necessarily um, trust the Panthers yet. I got to see how CJ Stroud does as their starting quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that he will have a great season as a rookie quarterback. It's going to be up and down. We'll have to see for sure. But for me, as of right now, oh my God, did I say CJ Stroud? I think I meant to say Bryce Young. Yeah, Bryce Young. CJ Stroud, he plays for Houston. So I guess I'm uh um dumb on that one, Evan. Bryce Young. I think that he will have an up and down year, but I still will pick the Falcons over the Panthers. Bengals Browns. This is probably this is the matchup of Sunday. I'm surprised that this is a 1:00 window. I I wasn't sure if Burrow was going to play, but I think he is going to play, and I got to go with the Bengals because I think that they are the second best team in the AFC right now outside of Kansas City. I still will put Kansas City as number 1 even though they lost week 1. Jaguars over the Colts. I just don't see the Jaguars losing this game. Um, I think that they are going to be a team to be reckoned with. The Jaguars are going to win the AFC South, and they're going to beat the Colts in week 1. This was an interesting one. Vikings over the Buccaneers. That's what I picked because I still feel like that Kirk Cousins still has some left in him, and obviously you have the best wide receiver in the game in Justin Jefferson. I don't know how Baker Mayfield is going to do this season, so I'm going to go with the Vikings. I picked the Saints over the Titans. I think that the Saints have a better quarterback, and I think that that's what's going to lead them to the win. I think that it's going to be close. I do want to see how DeAndre Hopkins does with. I want to see how they do with Ryan Tannehill, and will Derrick Henry still be run into the ground like he has been? Um, so I'm going to go with the Saints over the Titans. This was a tough one. You got two solid defenses, 49ers, Steelers. I went with the 49ers on this one just because who has really the better offense? I think the 49ers do. And just because Kenny Pickett had a incredible preseason, that doesn't mean crap to me. I think that he will be fine. I think that he'll be okay, but I still am not sold on the Steelers just yet. The Commanders over the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to be the worst team in the NFL, and they're probably going to pick number 1, and they're probably going to trade away Kyler Murray, and that's what's going to happen. So Commanders over the Cardinals. I went Ravens over the Texans. I think that that's a safe bet. Ravens probably could be the team that wins the AFC North. I mean, really, realistically, all 4 teams could win the AFC North. So I think that Ravens over the Texans. I went with the Bears over the Packers in this one because I feel like there's a lot more potential with the Chicago Bears right now than there is with the Green Bay Packers. I think that Jordan Love is still a great quarterback, but as of right now, I'm going to stick with the Bears going over the Packers. I think that the Bears could challenge the Lions, and I think that they could either win the division or be in a wild card spot. I went with this one was a this is my hot take, I guess, if you want to say. I'm picking the Raiders over the Broncos. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is still a quarterback that wins. He might not do it in the sexy way that probably people would like, but he wins. And I still am not buying the hype of Russell Wilson, and he's all turned around with um, Sean Payton. I just am not. I'm not a fan of Sean Payton, and I am not a fan of the Denver Broncos. So I'm picking the Raiders in this one. Eagles over the Patriots. I think the Eagles are going to be possibly the team to beat in the NFC, and I think that they will. Uh, they'll kill them. I don't have anything else to say other than I think that the Patriots are probably going to be the worst team in the AFC East. This one was another tough one. I decided to go the Dolphins over the Chargers. Um, I think that there's still. I think that the Dolphins could challenge the Bills like they did last year and in the playoff game with a third string quarterback. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. Tua probably will be better than ever. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully he can stay healthy this season. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins over the Chargers. This one, I went with Seahawks over the Rams. This one was pretty simple, self-explanatory. I think that the Rams are still not ready to. I think that they might be in a rebuilding mode as of right now. So that's what I'm going to go with, Seahawks over the Rams. And last one of the Sunday slate, and obviously I already got the Monday night game. I had the Bills over the Jets. I'm going with the Giants over the Cowboys. I think that Daniel Jones has something to prove. And I think that the Giants are still a good team. And I think that they're going to be Dallas. And I think that they're going to be the second best team in the NFC East. And I'm picking them over the Dallas Cowboys. And so those are my picks. I got Bills over Jets, Falcons over Panthers, Bengals over Browns, Jaguars over Colts, Vikings over the Buccaneers, Saints over Titans, 49ers over Steelers, Commanders at over Cardinals, Ravens over Texans, Bears over the Packers, Raiders over the Broncos, Eagles over Patriots, Dolphins over Chargers, Seahawks over Rams, and the Giants over the Cowboys. If you want to let me know what you think, if you have a question for the next episode of Depot's Den, we'll talk about that on Tuesday. I am super excited. We finally are back into football season, and I will talk to you on Tuesday. You've been listening to Depot's Den. I have been your host, Evan DePasquale. We'll talk Tuesday after the Bills-Jets game, and we'll go over every single game from week one, and I will give you my thoughts as well as my picks for the week. You've been listening to Depot's Den. We will see you next time.